In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a guessing game in Python 3. And this is how the game is going to work. It's going to say, welcome to the ultimate guessing game. And then you choose a difficulty between 1, 2, and 3. In this case, I'll choose 2. Then you say the number is between 1 and 50. I have 3 attempts to guess. So I can say 25. The number is too high. Let's go for 15. Number is still too high. 8. Nope, the correct answer was 11. Then if I want to play again, I press 1. And let's say 1 to 10. This is more easier. 3 too low. 7 too high. Let's go lucky guess 5. No, the answer is 6. And if I want to kill the game, I press 0. So let's get started. So in this brand new file, we're going to first save it. We're going to save it as guessing game. I'm just going to add tutorial. And now let's create it. So a lot of the skills that we're using is from the Python basics tutorial series, which you can find up there in it'll pop up right now. And you can use that if you don't really understand what's going on or some of the concepts. But yeah, let's get started. So we're gonna start by saying import random. So that's the function we're gonna use to get our random number that we can guess with. And then after that, we're going to print welcome to the ultimate guessing game. In this case, if your game has a different name, you can just give whatever you want to let the user know or feel welcome. And we're going to say welcome to the ultimate guessing game, and then I'll just use a line break so you can skip a line. And then we're going to ask the user what difficulty they want to play on. So here I'm going to create a brand new variable called difficulty, and then we say equals to input, and then we'll choose, and then we'll tell the player choose a difficulty. And in this case, I'm going to have 3 different difficulties. So in brackets we say 1 is easy, 2 is medium, and 3 is hard. Okay, now we can move on, or let's have a colon just so the player can enter the answer, and a space. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing. We'll say while difficulty does not equal to 1, and let me just copy this. And then remove this final and. So basically, the player can input whatever they feel like in this place. They can input 70, high, whatever they want to. So in this case, we want to make sure that the player only submits an answer between 1, 2, and 3. And if that's not the case, we're gonna inform them that they can only give an answer that is between 1 and 3. So let's copy this. And the reason we're using strings is anything that's in the input is only a string, so you cannot input a variable, an integer or float or any other data type. Then we'll say choose a number in the range 1 and 3, just to remind them that they can't put in any other number. So now let's run this module and test what we have so far. So if we run this, we'll say welcome to the guessing game, choose a number between 1 and 3. If we say 6, name difficulty is not defined. Oh okay, I spelled it wrong here. Difficulty. Okay, so I spelled it wrong twice. Difficulty. Okay, now let's save and run again. Okay, so if we say 56, that's not in between the range of 1 and 3, but 2 is, and then we'll get it will let us continue. So now let's just put a colon here and a space. Now let's move on and make a function. So this is going to be the start game function, and we'll say def define start game, and then we're going to have an argument called game difficulty, where we would input the difficulty that the user has chosen. So here you can choose the max attempts that you want to give the player. Here I'm going to choose 5 for this one. We're going to give our player 5 maximum attempts, and then we'll set a random number, and we'll set that to 0. And then we're going to set the user's guess to equal to 0. So now we've just defined 3 variables that we're going to be using in this function: the max attempts, which is how the maximum amount of times we're able to guess; the random number that will be generated using the input random library; and the user's guess, whatever our user guesses. Now let's move on and create an if statement. So if game difficulty equals to, and don't forget the strings because what you inputted was a string. If it equals to 1, then we're going to set random number to equal to random dot randint, and then we choose our range here. So right now we're saying if the difficulty is easy, then we want to set the range to guess between 1 and 10, and then we're going to print to let the player know what the range is. So we'll say the number is between 1 and 10, comma, you have 5 attempts to guess. If you wanted to set the max attempts as a variable as well, instead of having it set for every single difficulty to be the same, what you do is instead set it right here, and then at the beginning set it to 0, and then we'll say max attempts equals to 3 when it's at the beginning, at the easiest difficulty. And now what we'll end up doing here is simply copy this line of code. I think I'm just going to keep that max attempts. I think that's a good idea. Then copy, paste, and we're going to say else if, and then copy that and paste, because we're just going to be editing the values. So let's undo, boom, okay. So now we're going to say if game difficulty is medium or if it's hard. So when it's medium, we're going to say 1 to 50, and we'll give our player 8 attempts, and then we'll say you have 8 attempts to guess. And then here we can give our player 15 guesses, and you say you have 15 attempts to guess. So yeah, basically here we're just leveling the game so it's not super difficult, and you're not only having 3 attempts while guessing, even though it's 1 to 100. Now we can change this to 1 to 100, and now we can move on. So now it's time to get our user guessing, but before that, let's run this module just to make sure everything is fine. Start game, and then we'll run it with the difficulty input. So we'll input difficulty, and now let's run the module. So choose a difficulty 1 to 3. Let's choose 3. The number is between 1 to 10. We want it to be 1 to 100, and then this should be 1 to 50. Okay, cool. So testing is very important, so you can pick up little mistakes that you made. So let's say 2, 1, and 50. You have 8 attempts to guess, and yeah, it basically doesn't. We haven't created the guessing yet. So let's create our guessing, and we'll do that in the same function. We'll say for x in range max attempts. So here we're saying we're going to loop through this guessing part as long as we're still in the maximum attempts that we have, and then we're going to set users guess, which we declared here, to equal to input, and then we're gonna just say choose. Let's add a message here. We can say choose a number, and then bam. Let's now move on, and then we say if. And now we have to change our user's guess to an integer to make sure that it's equal to our user's guess. I mean, not our user's guess, but the random integer that we've decided to have. So we'll say int user's guess if user's guess does not equal to random number, then we say x plus equals 1. So basically just increasing this so x gets closer and closer to the max attempts, like a for loop. If you don't understand for loops, I have a video right here in the info bar that will teach you about for loops. And then we'll say if int okay, actually let's not do this yet. Let's create an else statement. So we say if the answer is correct, then we'll print correct. You are correct. The answer was, and then we just add the user's guess. And then we can just break we're going to break the for loop here, and then we can now test this. Let's test this. So run the module. We see 2, 1 and 50. So let's say 6. So clearly that's not correct. 34, 12, 17, 15, 24, 25. So user guess. Okay. Oh, so that must mean we got the answer correct. I just have to say, what line did we have this error? Line 36 and 32. Okay. Oh, okay, user's guess. Okay, right here, user's guess. Okay, so now we have to just run this module one more time and try to get the answer. So let's go to 1. We can say 10, 3. Okay, so we got the answer wrong. So right now we're not telling our player if they got the answer wrong, and you can also notice that guessing from such a large value from like 1 to 100 may be hard. So let's give the user some hints to know if they're close or far to the value. So you can say, oh, this value is too high, this value is too low from the random number. So let's go ahead and code that in right now. So we'll say if int user guess users, let's not forget the s, users guess is greater than random number, then we'll say, we'll print your guess is too high, and then we'll tell them how many attempts they have left. We can say you have, let's put a comma here, and we'll say you have plus str max attempts minus x, and then we can say plus attempts left. Okay, and then we say if we got our answer wrong, which is right here, but let's first create an else statement. So let's say else, and then just take this, copy this, paste it here, and we'll say print your guess is too low. You have da attempts left. And then since we've gotten our answer wrong, we have to look if. So we have another if statement. We say if x equals to max attempts, then we want to print the correct answer. So let's just take this, and in this case, oh my goodness, I did something wrong. Okay, so we say in this case our user's guess is clearly not the correct one. So let's say string random guess. So that's what the correct one. We'll say the correct answer was da. So we can say you ran out of guesses, you ran out of guesses, the correct answer was, and then the random guess. So now let's run this again to see if our edits work. So let's choose easy. 3, it's too low. Okay. 7, too high. 4, okay. Then we say random guess is not defined. Random guess. Oh, it's not random guess. It's random number. My bad. So let's change this to random number and run the module again. Now 1, let's choose 1, too low, 6, too high, 3. The correct answer was 5. Okay, so that's basically the game. But let's say I wanted to play again. You feel me? I want to try again. I have to run the module all over again. But there's a better way of doing this, which basically involves copying everything right here, and then Control X, and then all we do is we're going to create a brand new variable called play again, and we'll give it the value string 1, and then we'll create a while loop, and we'll say while play again equals to 1, and then we bring back the code. Let's tab here. Okay, so everything inside this while statement has to be indented. So let's copy all of this and then press tab. So that should fix the indentation problem. And we say while play again equals to 1, then we do all this, and then start game difficulty. And then at the end of the game, we just say we ask the player if they want to play again. So we have to set the play again to equal to input, and then we say if you wish to play again, input 1 bound. Okay, so let's change this to play again, and basically what we're doing here is we're setting a variable which equals to 1, and we say while play again equals to 1, and the only time we can edit this is once the game is over. So we start game difficulty, and we just ask the player if they want to play again after the game has run. So we say if you wish to play again, input 1. So now let's run this module, and let's go for the easy. Actually, let's go for medium. while play again. Okay, and you have to say double equal signs. We're not assigning the value here. Now let's run and choose medium. It choose 25 to your value is low high. What? Your value is low high. No. It's supposed to be too low. Your value is where did we have that? Your value is too low. Okay, now let's run the module again. 25 too high. Okay. 14 too high. Okay. 3. Oh, okay, I got the correct answer. And now if I want to play again, I press 1. And then let's go for easy this time. 4 too low. 7 too high. Okay, this should be easy. 5. Oh, the answer was 6. Okay. And if I want to try hard, 1 between 100 too high. 45 too high. 2 too low. 16 too high. Okay, makes this easy. 13 too low. Okay, 14. And then if I don't want to play again, I say 2. So yeah, and the random int is 1 to 100. That's a range. 1 to 50 and 1 to 10. Depending on what you input for a difficulty. So that's the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed it, and turn on post notifications and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. See you in the next one. Peace.